Hey guys, welcome to lambing in Nebraska in March. Yeah, probably 4 or 5 inches. I'll only show you the drifts. Got a little snow I'm gonna have to move, it looks like, but we'll see. I'm not gonna move any more than I have to. It's supposed to be in the 40s and 50s next week. It shouldn't take too long to melt out, but let's go inside and show you what we had to do some changing. All right, there we go. Oh, here's our little guy. Oh yeah, you're not gonna eat for another hour or so. All right, and I do have somebody in with him. Here's Blackie. Got a little ewe lamb. She actually had twin ewe lambs yesterday outside. One was dead, one alive. Yesterday afternoon, sunny, 57 degrees. Perfect day to lamb outside. Fortunately, she did that yesterday instead of last night. Thank you very much. All right, let's go out and I'll show you what I did out here. Here's all the moms and babies. I don't think they're going to be going outside today. They're going to be staying on the inside. As you can see, I put a divider in the middle. And then these gals, I have 7 out here. 6 of them are still due to lamb. Now, they stayed out here last night. I saw them at 1 in the morning. About 1 or 2 is when it started to rain, change the snow. I took a look at 4 o'clock. At 4 o'clock, it was starting to get kind of white. I've already scooped out their feeder. That was full of snow. It was getting a little white. And then I couldn't go back to sleep. About every 20 minutes, I'd look at the camera. Everything was fine. And finally, about 5:45, I said, okay, I can't take that anymore. So got up, I made bottles. I fed the bottle babies. And then I went ahead, threw this divider up quick. That gate's always been here. I threw that in, locked them back. Opened this door up, threw in some hay, let them come in, and everybody's fine. But with this kind of weather, we need a place to keep them all inside. 2 of them are probably a few days past due, but I figured now they come in here, they'll probably lamb inside here, and then probably by late today, I could take Blackie out, put her in with the rest. If I had to, I'd kind of prefer, if I end up with one today, I almost prefer to take the bottle baby out and put him somewhere else and put one over there, but maybe they'll give me till tomorrow, and then we won't have to worry about it. But here's the little guys here. Yes, here's my 2 bottle babies here. I'm feeding them still 3 times a day. Otherwise, everybody's looking good. And I guess we're all just going to stay inside for a couple days until the weather straightens itself back out. I'd love to be able to bring them outside and turn them into the far pen over there and then have my ewes here over here. But we're going to have to wait till this stuff melts now. So they're going to have to stay here and go back out where they've been going, doing that one for a while. Hi, everybody. Well, we have another new one. Yeah, let me get over here. Another first-time mom. There we go. See if I can get up here, not sitting in the water. Little ram lamb. And this is one of the twins that I picked up last summer down in Kansas from Rich Holloway. So another nice, she is a daughter of Ascot's Megatron Gold, so who is a gold star ram. Nice little lamb. There you go. What do you think, buddy? Cold, huh? Yeah, it's not real warm today. It's maybe going to make it to the 30s if we're lucky, but I think this could be the last cold day. I think tomorrow's supposed to be in the 60s, maybe almost 70. It's going to rain. Friday might be a little colder, and then it looks, I see a lot of stretch of 50s, 60s, 70s. So maybe spring is finally here, we hope. Hey, everybody. Well, we're back to the up and down weather. We had our 7 inches of snow. Then about 5 days later, it was 70-some degrees. This morning, it was 60 degrees. And now in the afternoon, it's 40 degrees. We may have snowflakes tonight. We'll see. All right, so what do we got? I have 4 left over there. 4 is it. Now, One may or may not be bred, don't know. First time we did an ultrasound, we thought she was. Second time we did an ultrasound, we didn't think she was. So I'm not sure. First time mom, we'll see. We got 3 for sure left. But we got another new one in the barn. Let's go inside and take a look. All right, we got a new one. Oh, by the way, we also have a new one in the bottle pen, and I'll explain that one. And here we go. There is Callie. And we got a little boy there in front. And that's a little girl in behind. So one of each. That's fine by me. I'll keep taking one of each. It's fine by me. There we go. Now we can see you. Boy, you got them rings around the eyes, don't you? Yeah. You're going to be a cutie. You're going to be a cutie. We're going to keep a couple, so we'll see. That may be one we're thinking about. Over here, the little noisy one. Yes. That is Cayenne's. One of her triplets is the smallest one. Just was having a hard time keeping up. She's not happy, but I brought her in. We're going to talk on bottle feeding just a minute. We'll talk about that just a second. Let's walk outside. See what we got going out here. And here is everybody. They're still locked in. Now they were out this morning. It was 60 this morning. It was nice, no wind. So I had them all outside, but now by afternoon, kind of drizzle a little bit, cold wind. I brought them in. This will be their last night here. They're going to move. Let's go outside real quick. All right. Here's our outside. Here's our 4 we got left. So what I'm going to do, there's just to bring all of them with babies and put them on the other side, there's not enough room. All those gates are going to come down. I will swing the 12-foot gate across here, and then we'll put a gate right here. That way that whole thing under cover will be for moms and babies. And then these last 4, they'll just have this small area right here where they can come inside the catch pen. And that'll make it easier to get them in and everything. So I could have done it earlier, but I knew we had the rain, the storms, the cold. Tomorrow's supposed to get up in the 50s, and then I see a lot of 50s, 60s, 70s, so they got to sit here one more night, and then we're going to get everybody moved. Been using up a lot more bedding, but I want to keep it dry. Been hearing a lot of people with lambs this year. There's a lot of moisture. It's damp. There's a lot of cocci going around. A lot of people having problems with that, losing lambs, so I don't want to do that. So we're keeping as much bedding in as to keep it dry. So let's go back in. Hi, Mom. Yeah, you can stay till maybe Sunday. We might let you stay a couple days. And a little black and white noisy one. You're just noisy as can be, and a handful to feed. So let's talk bottle feeding, because I know somebody had asked about it. They said they've done a lot of videos, haven't done anything on bottle feeding, and I thought, well, you know, 2 years I haven't had a bottle feed one. So maybe today it's time to do it. All right, I thought I better come out here. That little one's making a lot of noise in there. Bottle feeding. I haven't covered it much because I haven't had to do it for 2 years. But let's start when you're really starting early. I had my first one, Hershey, had the triplets, but Hershey was my ewe that had cocci, so she aborted those early, had them real early. By the way, even though we was treating Hershey and doing everything we could, we still ended up losing her at the end. But she had triplets, real little. One dead, one died shortly, but I had one that I was trying to save. Real little, and to show you how little, I took that one in the house. I got a gallon baggie. And I put him in a gallon baggie and just kept his head out, and then put him in an ice cream bucket of hot water to start warming him up. That's what you need to do if you've got them when they're real cold, all right? I know the first thing people want to do, I got to get some milk in them. Get something warm in their belly, and that'll work. And that's the worst thing to do. You have to have their body temperature up first before you give them any milk. I've seen people, oh, they won't nurse, so I'll tube them. I'll get that warm milk, and it's still, don't do that, warm them up. We kept the little ram lamb, I put him in the water. After that, we got a hair dryer, and got him real warm with a hair dryer, got him all dried off real good. then put him in a towel. He was still pretty wobbly like this, so we propped him up in a corner and just let him sit and slowly build up his body temperature. From the time I brought him in the house till the time I finally started to try a bottle, had probably been almost 3 hours, 2.5, 3 hours. Didn't get in a hurry, got the temperature up first, and he ate. At that time, you don't eat, you still might have to tube, but don't feed or tube until you get the body temperature up where it should be. Now, he never had a chance to nurse from the ewe, so you have to do colostrum. A lot of people say, okay, you can buy a powdered colostrum, and that's great. Now, remember, there's 2 types. There's colostrum replacer, and there's a colostrum supplement. You want the replacer. The colostrum replacer is what you want if that's all they're getting. The colostrum supplement, I don't know, I guess sometimes maybe if they're getting something from mom, that's a supplement. Just find colostrum replacer, that's what you want to use. Now, in my case, you can see the one I got inside. The ram lamb, I started him right off the bat. Mom rejected him, started him on a bottle, just like you normally would. Inside, we got 2 in here that are still with mom. She had triplets, but one side is bad, so she's only got one side to feed on. So I started almost on day 1 or day 2 bottle feeding the smaller ewe lamb. I had 1 of her 2 ram lambs would come up and he'd take a bottle. So I've been bottle feeding them. Now the ram lamb's getting something from mom. And so basically, every once in a while, he doesn't hardly eat anything. The next time he eats a lot, which makes it tough to know how much milk to replace or to bring out. One time he eats, one time he doesn't. So I got leftover, it always goes back in the fridge, bring it back the next time. Today, for the first time, here about an hour ago at lunchtime I was feeding, the little ewe lamb didn't eat. And I'm wondering if she's stealing from somebody. And I'm right up here, one of my first time moms. One of them keeps kind of calling back and this, that, to the other. So I'm kind of wondering if one of them is allowing her to steal a little. We'll see. But the idea is I've got 2. I left them with mom. They'll come to the bottle, no problem. Now the little ram lamb, when I move all these gals out to the big pen, I thought, okay, if he'll come to the bottle, then I'll put him with him. I'll just put him out with everybody else because I'm never going to be able to catch him, but as long as he'll come up. Well, that changed when I had to pull that little ewe lamb. When I had to pull her and put him with, now they're going to stay for a while. And actually, it kind of works out a little nicer because I got 2 and 2, so I only got 2 hands. So I can feed 2 at a time. Now, the problem with the little ewe lamb in there, she spent 2 weeks with mom. And her mom is right there, and mom really don't care. I haven't heard mom calling back to her at all. These over here, one of these are calling to her, but mom doesn't. But with 2 weeks with mom, I want to tell you what, it is a knockdown, drag-out fight to try to get her to eat. First evening in the pen, it was like she was all over the place, wouldn't even let me get near. Next morning, she was calmer, but still no. And then by the next after feeding, now she's right here as I'm feeding one. She's under my arm looking for something to eat, but she won't take the bottle. So when I'm feeding the boy, she is right there. She wants it, but she won't eat. And I literally, you almost got to hog tie her. I mean, I got to have her down in between my legs and prying open her mouth. And I can get her to eat about 3 ounces, maybe 4, and then she quits. And that's about it. And you got to fight to get that in her. Now, I don't worry too much about that. Only on the simple basis is, how much do they get from mom at one setting? Probably not much. Of course, they're fed a lot more often with mom than they are with me. I'm going to stick with what I'm doing. And that is I'm feeding 3 times a day. When they're real little, I'm starting, I feed 4 times a day. But now once they get up a ways, they get morning, about 1 o'clock after lunch sometime, and then again about 7 or 8 o'clock at night. I feed them 3 times. I'm sticking with that with her. Even if she's not getting much, she's getting 3 a day because that'll slowly start getting her to eat more. If I get a couple weeks and they're both coming to the bottle real well, I'd love to take those 2 and just kick them in here with the rest of these and let them become sheep. We'll see how they act. The boy, I know I could. I could do with that with him today, and he'll come for his eats. If I get her where she will, then I'll let both of those come back out, let them just be sheep. It'll be a lot easier. They'll come up and eat when they want to eat. One nice thing is, a little girl being almost 2 weeks old, as I fed here, when you feed alfalfa, the lambs will come up and eat. I can throw little leaves of alfalfa in their pen, and she'll go eat the alfalfa. Not much, but she will go eat a little. And the nice part of that I like is, the little ram lamb will see her do that because he doesn't have anybody to teach him to eat the alfalfa. But if he watches her, hopefully he'll learn and he'll start doing it too. Now, one last thing, milk replacer. When I went to buy a milk replacer, and that was, I went like Tractor Supply, 22.5 pound bag, $72. I went to another local farm store I have here, 25 pound bag, $52. That's a lot less. The Tractor Supply was 35% protein. The other one was 23% protein. So a lot less protein with the other one. That's why there's a price difference. So if you're seeing two different prices, it's usually because one's got a lot less protein. I still went with the $52 bag. I figured that's going to be good enough. We're going to get by with that. Secondly, whole milk. You probably see a lot of people talk about vitamin D milk. Yes, my daughter does that with her goats. She has dairy goats, which means almost all the kids get pulled immediately because the does are just getting milked. Usually she's given goat milk and mixing that with just vitamin D milk that you can buy. I did a quick, figured out quick, $52 for a 25 pound bag of milk replacer. I can buy vitamin D milk in my store for $2.19 a gallon. If you compare those, the whole milk is half price. It'll cost you twice as much for milk replacer. I hear a lot of people say they prefer whole milk versus milk replacer. I don't know if one's better than the other, but I want to let you know on a cost comparison, it will be a lot cheaper. So that will help you out on that situation. Usually I'm using milk replacer, and when I got some partial bottles left over, I put them in the fridge, and then the next time I'm getting ready to go, I just grab some whole milk out. I fill the bottles off with whole milk, warm it all up, and that's what they get. So one time mine get milk replacer, one time mine might get 50-50 milk replacer and whole milk. That's just the way I'm doing it. All right, that's all I got for this. Next day or two, I'm going to get them moved out. We'll put that on the next video, finally get them out in a bigger area. The pasture's starting to green up. They might even get to go out and get a little grass. See you next time.